everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the Technical Trader at thetechtrader.com. It's Thursday, the 7th of July. And these are the charts of the day. Folks, it was a kind of a mixed consolidation day. But a lot of stocks we follow continued to do well. Some actually broke out. Let's take a look at a few of the longs we like, or the ones that acted well today. Ambarella, a recent swing trade idea. And I put it on because I love this long-term downtrend that took it from, 128.30. Where was the higher? Well, nearly 130, all the way down to a double bottom in the low 30s. A base was built over a few months. The stock broke out and surged in May, and then consolidated from the early June period over the last month to form like a big flag type pattern. In the last two sessions, it popped and then followed through today. And what I want to see is, can this get through the 54 range, which is our near-term target? If that occurs, we should see 60 and then maybe even 65. Those are targets for Ambarella. And there's 6.6 days to cover in addition. But I just like the base breakout and flag that usually indicates higher levels, especially with the moving averages having crossed over at this point. AQMS, really liking the way this is setting up. Now, it's had multiple waves up, but this one here intrigues me as it had a three-wave corrective, held at the 50-day moving average and trend line, and popped up before pulling back. The two-day pullback came on low volume, and today picked up a little bit with volume increasing. Now, it's not a heavily traded stock, but it sure looks like a possibility of a stock that may make it into the high teens. So look at 17, 18 as a potential target on this one. 3 days to cover nearly on that one. AVXL, a stock in the cancer drug arena that had a huge run last year, running all the way from under $1 into the, say, 15, 16 range, then pulled down and based out for the last, 8 or 9 months. But today you can see after the last week or so, extra strength, today it popped another 64 cents or 10%. And good volume with 8.5 days to cover. I'm looking for a test of the $8 range short term. And if we can get it moving, maybe $10 beyond that. 8.5 days to cover, as I said. BGI, well, the big pop occurred 2 days ago. And look at the 2 days in a row of consecutive narrowing inside type trading with big volume, telling me this may not be done yet. Although it could have some more consolidation due in the next week or two, I think eventually this is an $8 or $9 stock. But let's look for a retest first of the spike high near 5. BSPM, well, you can see that after the explosive move in June, and the run up to resistance, the pullback that followed, the pop that followed, and the flag that's followed. Now, resistance is right in that zone, but it seems to me it may get up and test this 6.25 or half area short term. And should it get through that, we could see a stock to move into the high single digits. Interesting pattern. EZPW, well, taking a look at this, you'll see that a big4 took this stock from 2012 when it was trading up in a 33, 34 zone, all the way down to basically under 3, trading at 244 back in February. Now, since then, you can see the stock has moved up in a nice steady run-up channel, parallel channel that broke out with a breakaway gap today with big volume. It looks to me like if we can get to this zone, we may very well see a run-up in the 11-12 area. That's my short-term target. There's 6.23 days to cover on that one. Now, GIMO is another swing trade that's acting well. It popped and broke out here. It pulled back in a nice pullback wedge. It held support. That was a good opportunity in the high 20s near 29. Since then, it's gone up to 39, almost 40 today, 39.59. Now, going way back, if you look at GIMO, you'll see the all-time high came in at 41.81. And right now, it's headed towards that area, in my opinion. We shall see what happens. 3.7 days to cover. LEDS with a spectacular day today, up 208% on a massive 13.8 million of volume never seen before in its stock. It just exploded on a major investment from an investor. And at this point, there may be some follow-through to get this up near 14, 15. Keep an eye on this in the next couple of days. Motivation is looking like it's preparing for an explosive move and consolidated on low volume today. You can see how the low volume of the pullback here is causing a little flag. But if this gets above 63 and it got up to 62.98, we may very well see this start to run again into the high 60s for starters. NVDA, and this is a swing trade of ours, and it's kind of 1, 2, 3, 4. The consolidation in this zone indicates to me that we may be headed towards 55. Today's action up $1.24 over 49 and closing at 48.89, up 124, tells me we may have started that move, which could take us up another 6 or 7 points. Progenics acting well. This is a stock we put out as a swing back in here, and it didn't quite work because it needed to retest. But you can see that the major declining tops line and the base may have been taken out with key thrust in the last week that's taken this from 4 to 5.5. Now the resistance up here from the April highs at 5 3/4 would be what I'd look for a breakout to occur. And if we get that, we may see a short-term move to 645.50. Beyond that, my target's $8. There's 11.8 days to cover on this one. That could certainly help fuel the fire. SGY, well, the phenomenal move in this stock, taking it from under 3 to 1640 today, although it did have a reversal and closed way off the highs and reaching the top of the channel. It may be short-term a little vulnerable, but momentum is so strong in this one, it wouldn't shock me, and this one made it to 1920. GIMO, big move today, a big pop on raised estimates, jumping 245 or 5%. At one point up, another 245 was up almost 5 points at one point. You can see the pullback that took place, taking this from the top of this channel and back down. So that could have been why you got a little spike up and pullback. But with big volume like that, I fully expect to see this as a $60 stock going forward. Now, SODA broke out of its major declining channel with a breakaway gap about a month and a half ago, and then flagged, popped, got to resistance 1, 2, 3 times, and pulled back to retest this little gap and the flag top. Then the move today that took it up $1.09 or 5%. I think it's on its way to 24 and then 27. Stay tuned on this one. It could be interesting with nearly 7 days to cover as well. Now, Taser, one of our swing trades from April, has been acting well, especially since mid-May when it started to move off 17. It's now got up to almost 26 today. You can see that there's resistance up here. My first target was in the 25, 26 and a half area, and we're there. But we may very well see this get near 30. And finally is WB, which the swing trade has been acting great. Ever since it popped, wedge popped, broke out, it's been acting very, very well and stair-stepping its way higher. Look at today's pop at 308 or 11% on 2.1 million, the biggest volume in about 2 months. So I think it extends. I think we get up to about 35.6. That's my short-term target. And that is the video for tonight. Have a good evening, everyone.